Hello, Michael Bull here with the Commercial Real Estate Show. We're at the second annual Interface Seniors Housing Southeast Conference here in Atlanta. We ran into Brian Fuhr with Healthsense. And Brian, you just came off of a technology panel. And as you guys are helping people in the seniors housing industry, what are one of the challenges that you guys are hearing that operators are having?
Michael, our clients are seeing an older, higher acuity resident, both living in their communities and also as a prospect moving in as well. They're faced with the same size staff, and they're kind of, the conundrum is, wow, how do I provide more, better care for an older, sicker population than I've ever seen before? Phrased another way, it's like today's assisted living resident looks like yesterday's skilled nursing resident. How can I take the same size staff and provide them with the care, the resident with the care that they need to keep them living in that same apartment safely longer?
Right, and they've got to look at return on investment, right?
Yep, they do have to look at return on investment. So our panel was on technology, was not supposed to be about the latest gadgets and gadgets, but rather what are some successful technology investments that senior housing providers have made that have resulted in actual ROI, right? Is this driving top line revenue? Is this driving bottom line profitability?
And what are some examples?
One of our clients built a 190 resident senior living community, about a third IL/AL memory care. That building pro formas without Healthsense at $6.6 million a year, with Healthsense at $7.4 million a year top line, and 5 points of increased EBITDA with Healthsense in the building.
So what is Healthsense?
We provide a service of, our clients have a challenge of right-sizing care plans for their residents, and they have a challenge of prioritizing daily workflow. What we do is we provide them with data that informs that care conference, helps them get the right service package for the individual. That's increased revenue. And then we provide them with a dashboard on a daily basis that says you should go check on Molly first because this is happening with her. That helps them intervene earlier to keep Molly out of the hospital, out of the skilled nursing home. That keeps Molly living in that apartment longer. Okay,
and is this suitable for new buildings, new projects, and also for existing ones?
Yeah, it is actually. So it's on new projects, it's a great opportunity to sit down and write a pro forma that takes this stuff into account because technology is not free, right? So how are you going to pay for it on the back end? It also helps a provider or an owner-operator squeeze more, I'll call it caregiving ability, out of an existing property as well. So another interesting spin on it is I just acquired a portfolio. The reason I bought them was they may have been underperforming. I'm trying to squeeze more performance out of those buildings. So for a modest capital investment, they can see a pretty big return on that investment as well. So we do both new build, new construction, and retrofit all the time.
And all your customers using it as a capital expense, they're paying it cash, or some of them leasing it?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
We'll go either way. A lot of our clients view it as kind of a long-term investment, so they're like, hey, why would I continue to pay for this? But you know, it depends on how their P&L and their balance sheet work. We'll go either way.
Okay. And how might it help sell space, rent space? How might the children that are putting their parents in the senior housing, how might they appreciate it?
Right. So, Michael, that's a great question. So when you're shopping for a place for your mom, our clients will say, hey, it looks now to the shopper as if they have this choice. Next door, you've got a place that's promising to deliver care the old way, which is to try to see something and react as fast as possible. Whereas a building that's made an investment in Healthsense makes the argument, hey, we're proactively monitoring mom's health and safety. We're intervening earlier with information that helps us keep her out of the hospital. To the eldest daughter and to mom, right, that sounds like a pretty good deal, right? It sounds like sustained health, safety, and resulting independence. So they believe that it gives them a marketing differentiator.
And give me some examples of how, if I'm the child that's putting my parents in there, what's an example of what I'm going to see and use?
Sure. So a common example, so let's take a chronic condition, congestive heart failure. So what our system will pick up and identify to the care provider is that mom's been sleeping poorly at night, she's getting up and using the bathroom a lot, she's actually in bed a lot during the day, and she's far less active. So even
how does it sense that?
So it sensed that by security, sensors in the apartment that are not unlike a home security system, so it's totally passive. Mom doesn't have to do anything, so they like that a lot. There's no engagement or participation required.
She's not wearing a belt or.
She didn't have to wear a belt or anything like that. And then the back-end analytics are looking at her normal patterns for those activities, and what we spot is changes in those. And you could have the best care staff in the world. The way that our clients see it, they want to also market that they know their residents really well. The way that our clients look at it is the information we provide helps them know Molly even better, and in a way that frankly kind of comes across like magic, right? Now they're able to go to Molly's room that day, and they know that she's been sleeping poorly, she's been up at night using the bathroom, and they know that she's been kind of lethargic during the day.
And those sensors on the walls or in the carpets, or
they're on the walls, they're on like her refrigerator, there's a sensor between the mattress and the box spring, there's a sensor in the bathroom that monitors in and out of the bathroom, flushing the toilet. So they're all things that the resident doesn't see.
So they'll know as much as Google knows about what I do, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, exactly right. So, and the deal is, it's funny because that brings up the big brother question. What our clients' research has shown is that the resident, while they might initially be a little bit standoffish with respect to monitoring, what they really are interested in is sustained safety and independence.
Yeah.
When it's explained to them how this stuff is connected to their sustained health, wellness, and safety, they're all in, right? Because they just want to keep living in that same apartment longer or for most of the rest of their life.
Yeah. How difficult is the underwriting for an operator to understand, okay, well, here's my additional cost, and I'm going to have more revenues and more occupancy, but figuring out in the underwriting, well, how much more will I get with this system?
It's funny. So our clients kind of forced us to measure that. So 3 of our clients came to us. They offered up 7 buildings. We wrote a check for a healthcare economist to go in and study it. And so we got results. It was $700 to $900 per resident per month in incremental service revenue, and it was 27% fewer move-outs. So I wouldn't make the argument that somebody should sit down and write their pro forma with all of that, but we cost about $90 per door per month. So there's a giant gap between $700 to $900 and $90, and that doesn't even take into account the economic benefit of the reduced move-outs. So we usually find a lot of room in there for somebody to make a pretty safe assumption up front in a project and say, let's say I get $300 per resident per month in incremental service revenue at a cost of $90. The ROI is fantastic.
Yeah, it is fantastic. So let's give you this example. So let's say I'm a broker in an existing facility, which I do, and maybe I see some room to pull in a system like Healthsense and maybe create some revenue. Is that something that you could look at the numbers and suggest, hey, this is the cost and this is what you might get in increased NOI?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think of it on the buy side all the time, right? So if I'm looking to buy a property, I may be looking at something, maybe because the owners want to retire, but maybe because it's an underperforming asset, right? Part of the reason it's underperforming is that the existing owner may not have been able to squeeze as much caregiving out of that building as possible.
Right.
Right. So with a technology, we essentially end up being a force multiplier. Make it so the same size staff can deliver more and better care, and that results in increased revenue. It also has increased revenue that has a very high variable gross margin, right? Because the other part of the study said they don't have to actually add staff. In fact, there's a 1 FTE per 42 residents efficiency there. So, but just take that part out. It means they can increase service revenue without adding staff. Most of that drops to the bottom line.
That's great. And as someone told me the other day, that they're in this business because they like to do well while doing good, and it sounds like these systems will make people a lot safer and a lot more efficient.
So it's great because it's mission driven, right? Look, you're not in senior living, whether you're for profit or not for profit, you're not in senior living if you don't like older adults, right? So you've already got a mission or a belief that you want to see them sustain their health and wellness for as long as possible, right? Live long, die short, right? We all want to live well, right, for as long as we can.
Right.
And they see that this helps them deliver that to a prospective resident. And if they can do that at better financial performance, everybody wins.
That's perfect, Brian. And how can our viewers get more information?
Healthsense.com.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us.
You bet. Thank you, Michael.
Michael Bull with the Commercial Real Estate Show. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty Commercial Advisors, a great place to do business. Visit bullrealty.com. RealNex, a comprehensive and powerful suite of commercial real estate tools at an incredibly low price. Visit realnex.com. That's REALNEX. Xceligent, the resource professionals use for commercial real estate information. Visit xceligent.com. That's XCELIGENT. Commercial Search, the source to market and source available properties for sale or lease. Visit commercialsearch.com. For more information on these great companies or for additional videos, podcasts, or articles, visit CREshow.com.